Hey dudes, it's your friend, the Reverend Pirate Frog. Come join me in the circle with my OG homie, Cots Growery, the plant magician himself, Mack Gardens, and of course, the better half of Frapple, Johnny Apple. Don't forget to pass to your left and have some fucking fun.
Welcome to the November edition of The Circle on the Your Average Grow podcast. My name is Cots Growery, and I've been tasked with leading this merry band of misfits into this episode. So we have a pretty rough lineup for tonight, and I want to get into it, but I want to introduce everyone. So let's just go around and tell us what you're smoking on. I'm smoking right now on a strain called Tia. This is a wedding pie cross to Gelato 41, and I'm hitting it in the bong tonight. So, Rev, what are you smoking?
I am smoking the last remnants of the cookie smasher that I grew, and I am smoking it in a desktop vaporizer, which is not a cool way to say it.
I think it's cool.
How about you, Mac?
Yeah, dude. I'm puffing on some pucker up flower rosin that I pressed.
Ooh.
Yeah, using the proxy that I won in that raffle when I was in Boston.
It works now?
Yeah, I got a working one. Third time's the charm.
Jesus Christ.
No, it's pretty
I gotta
sweet,
ask you about
dude.
that proxy, dude.
The flavor on it's intense. It's like nectar collector, but electric. It's pretty sweet.
That's awesome.
Is it flour and oil, or is it just oil?
So I thought it was just oil, but I was browsing their website, and they have a flower bowl attachment that they make for it.
Oh, wow.
Wow, okay. It's pretty
Yeah,
convincing if you ask me, because it looks cool.
It is. I would probably not pay full price for it, though.
Not
Because
that
really,
cool.
Review.
it gets super cool. I mean, you can make it way cooler than what it is, but it's kind of plain and boring right out of the box until you get the add-ons and stuff that they make for it, which I guess is good for their pockets. But
Standard
it's
Puffco.
it's a $300 pipe
Wow.
at the end of the
Right.
day.
Right.
But if you can win one for
Johnny, what are you
$50 in a raffle,
That's true.
I'm not currently medicated. I am currently in the middle of grinding a sample of my Headstrong Keeper.
Ooh.
So, I guess we're going to experience this together.
God, I
Yeah.
hope it's more narrow leaf.
What's the lineage on the Headstrong? I'm not familiar.
So, it's a 7 East genetic, and I'm not quite sure. I don't remember exactly what the crosses were, but growing all 4 of the phenos had like a different leaf pattern, so I couldn't really tell narrow wide leaf, so they're definitely hybrided up pretty good, I'm sure. So I think it's all
Okay.
going to be in the name Headstrong, so I think it's going to be a head high.
Fun.
Let's hope so.
Yeah. I think I'm going to put it in the bong because I'm going to make some noise if I try and pack a cone right now, so. Well, I got my twisty. I got the cigarette rolling machine. Let me roll up a
There we
cigarette.
go.
A marijuana
Something I
cigarette.
think everyone should have. Do you have
Rolling
just the
skills?
basic one, the little open roller?
Yeah, I got the raw. I got a king size and a regular. I got a big cigar
Yeah.
one too. I've tried with some wide tips, and it doesn't really work the greatest. So, the
Man,
raw
there's no shame in my game.
king.
There we go. I should have one of those too. I just have the regular like 1 1/4, and it works. It
I just
reminds
find
me
with
of
1
cigarette,
1/4s, I'm rolling them so much more often. It's just like time consuming. It's nicer for terpenes, but yeah, as far as trying to get high, I usually need a king.
dude. Yeah, for sure. Especially if you're sharing, you know?
Yeah, big time when you're sharing. I can't share a 1 1/4 and get any sort of
Right.
medicated.
I feel you there. Well, next thing I want to know is what's going down in everyone's garden. And I know this can get a little bit expansive. And I'm not going to start here. I'm actually just going to dive into what I'm curious about the most. Mac, I want to hear about your garden. I want to hear about the tangies. I want to hear about the steroids. What's going on, man? What's going on here?
The juice shipment came in.
The juice, right? Like
I want to hear about the new tent.
Yeah, talk to me about the new tent too.
That's probably the most interesting thing that's going on right now anyway. So, yeah. I got a 4x4 and the AC Infinity 4x4, dude, it's super freaking nice. I don't have any AC Infinity tents until now, and the quality between that and the Spider Farmer was so much different. But
Yeah,
I needed a 4x4, dude. The Mango Mirror and Tangy were like crammed in that 2x4. So
it's amazing.
I was able to set it up in the closet, and then I got a new light. I got the Medic Grow Smart 8, and it's like 760 watts of badassery. But they're not
760.
yeah, dude. And it's like,
Oh my god.
yeah, and I got it. I'll only run it on like 60% ever, but
It's a 40% minimum, like you were saying.
yeah. So on the dimmer is like it's like just a click in different stages, and it goes 20% at a time. So you can only go down to 40%. But there's like
That's
on the
an
top by the controller, it has a button on it that you can push. It's a bloom button that like changes the spectrum and makes the light a little more intense. So I turned that off because both of the plants are showing a little bit. They're getting a little bit more light than they were from the old Chilled Tech and the 2x4. So
Heard.
I got one yellowing out and one turning fan leaves upside down to get away from the light. So I had to just move some stuff around in there and try to get them to where they were kind of blocked from the light in certain places. And I changed my schedule from 20 hours on and 4 off to 18 and 6 to give them a little bit more darkness to try to bring the DLI down below like 60.
Get that DLI in. Yeah.
Because, I mean, some autos can handle 60, but like Tangy, dude, she's taking it pretty good. She would probably still make it to harvest and look pretty nice, but if I kept it on the schedule it was on before, I would be dealing with some crispy bald plants at the end, I think. I've been there before.
Start a
many
fire.
times.
Yeah.
Like when I
Especially with
first started
autos,
growing,
man.
dude, it was just like, oh, something's wrong with them. They must need more light. They must need more light. So then I'm just lowering the light, cranking up the dimmer, like, yeah.
Yeah. But at least you caught it.
Yeah, Mango's
they've got
still,
room to
she's still
breathe.
she's still a little lemon lime looking, so I didn't completely burn her up, but she was starting to get purple stems and everything because of the toxicity from the light. And I think a lot of times that's people's problem is the light, and they think it's nutrient related, which it is nutrient related, but what is the cause of that? Too much light.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, go stand in the sun, in the intense sun for 12 hours. You're not going to like it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Right.
What you got going on in the grow garage, Johnny?
So I too just got a new tent. Well, the missus did. I got the new 2x4 AC Infinity, and they did make some upgrades to their last 2x4. They put like a zipper flap on that was kind of nice.
Yeah.
There seems to be a little higher quality in a like the pull strings, the drawstrings. I could be mistaken, but it could just be new and tight compared to my other ones. But yeah, everything seems to be doing good so far. Every transplant went well with my banana milks, and the skunks are going crazy. Everything's upstairs in the garage now, so that's good, man. We're finally trying to figure out a rhythm.
You have like a hall of tents that you can just walk down. And you've got
Yeah, he's living the dream.
You've got
dude.
tents on any side. Like, I just feel like you could just like kick your heels up and like cross your arms and just with a joint in your mouth and just kind of march down that row.
It's
And you've got
exactly how it
plants
happens.
praying
No,
to you
that's-
from like
you
every
wish.
angle.
You listen here. That would be everyone sitting at this circle's dream except Johnny's. Johnny goes down that hallway and he looks into every tent and he goes, I need to do something in this tent, even if I shouldn't. And he fucks with it. And then he goes to the next tent and he looks in this tent and he goes, this is fucking beautiful. I'm going to ruin it. And then he goes to the next tent because he has so much potential in that garage and he just doesn't have patience.
What's that word again?
Fucking patience. No. He does have the
Here
dream.
we
That was
go
the-
with this shit again.
Yeah, no. He has the dream, and we're all jealous. I'm just giving him a hard time.
Hey, I
No,
can, I
it's,
can march one step into my grow room, and that's it.
That's true. I don't march. I just walk slowly through the garage. He has the dream set up. He's like, here's my lounge. Here's where I record my podcast. Here's my amazing 300 tent room.
Not that bad. I did, excitingly, now that I'm screaming at everybody, I did get my attic fan installed today, so that was huge. That's on an AC Infinity controller as well. I think it's the older model. I realized that the fan came with the UIS port, and I was thinking I had to use the controller 69 that it came with. Well, they actually come with the reverse port, so I
Adapter,
could plug,
yeah.
so I could plug it into the old one, and I can use the controller 69 on one of my tents. So
Yeah, it's much better.
That's exactly what I did. Mm-hmm. I bought the cheaper fan kit
man.
with the cheaper controller.
Yeah. Way to
Yeah,
save
so-
$1.
that's exciting. What about you,
Have you-
Padre? Anything new?
Well, I fed my flower tea to my 3 plants, my Marleys. And,
Steroids.
yeah, I gave him my steroids, my organic steroids, which, it's pale in comparison to Max, but they're all a lot cheaper. No, and then I also did sprouted seed tea, and I got to fill, after we get done, I got to fill the reservoirs. But everything's going really great. I gotta defoliate that friggin' Marley's grin again this weekend. But holy crap, like, it's just insane how much vegetation she has.
Went from like the slowest plant ever to the biggest one.
I know. It blew my mind. And
Yeah,
I,
that complaining stopped essentially overnight. Like, it went from like, I feel so sorry for this sad plant to like, you're not feeling sorry for the sad plant
Yeah,
anymore.
I saw it the next day. I'm like, jeez.
I know. I don't know where. And you know what? It's funny because I did stop complaining because I got terrified of her, because she still just barely has pom poms and she's still growing.
She's like,
But-
I'm gonna show you,
Yeah,
motherfucker.
exactly. It's day
Wow.
350. I'll be like, okay, you win.
Marley's
But-
really grinning on that one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. I've had to move her down. Like, I've moved her 3 times, and I'm just like, all right, I'm done. You're staying here, and then I'll figure out what's gonna go. But the queen spanner next to her is looking amazing. But there's just so much plant mass in that tent that I keep having to deal with higher humidity, and so I'm gonna have to defoliate as she goes into basically continued early flower, because I don't understand her time frame.
All of your problems could be solved with a 4x4.
I know, and that's what I was going to bring up, is
man,
because
Mac.
Mac brought this up, right? He brought this upon me. He mentioned that he got a cheap 4x4, and I went, motherfucker. And so I was like, no, I just got my my other 2x3. I started growing in that, and it's not just a dry tent. I don't need to, after one more additional run in this apartment, get the 4x4. And then next thing I know, I've got a full price breakdown, and I'm weighing like, maybe if I do this, and I'm like, no, I can't. But the good news is, I have a great partner in life who was like, you're not spending any more money. So thank God for logic.
Yeah.
I say this as within the
Sometimes
new
you
year, I'll
need
probably
that.
have a 4x4. But
I
yeah,
want
I mean,
one,
I
too.
absolutely will still have one, and it's gonna be me going. But it was cheaper.
Well, it will be cheaper to run it in the end on your electric bill, so you could always
That's
argue that.
that's what I was thinking, right? But I don't. If I put a 4,000 watt board in the tent like you did, Mac, I don't think I'll be able to afford it.
You could use the 2 lights you got now.
No,
The
I
two
know
lights.
I know it was a joke.
Oh.
He
Yeah,
also doesn't have four.
I thought about just getting another Chilled Tech 2x4 light and just having 2 of those in the 4x4, but it was going to cost like $80 less than the Medic Grow light, so I was like, I'll just buy the light that's meant for this. Well, really, I think I bought a light meant for a 5x5, but that was purposeful.
You can always go up. But yeah, no. So that's where I am at right now. I am very happy in my garden as it is now, and I don't need to upgrade. Everything is copacetic. So I'll probably have a new garden in a couple months.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who you trying
you
to
go.
convince?
She must be
Myself.
sitting right next to him.
No, she's in the living room. Thank God.
You're at your most rational before the chaos ensues. So we appreciate that, and we also look forward to the new garden.
The one that I'm like, hey guys, can I just ship the garden to you guys and I live in it?
Well, you're already homeless, so yeah.
Exactly. I will tell that
could put
story
that bad-
because
Put
it's
that bad boy up in my garage.
Yeah, exactly. I can live in a small space. No, I'll tell that story that Mac alluded to. So this past weekend, and then I'll ask about your garden. Don't think I forgot you, Cots. But this past weekend, I went to watch my my chick play tennis, and she does some fancy league where there's like regionals and all this kind of bullcrap that's way over my head because I don't like tennis. But I go and watch her because I'm a great dude. But
Who laughed?
amen.
Did you laugh at yourself?
I did because the idea of me being a great dude is hilarious. Because it's just funny to me to
Like
say
you said
something
to me,
like that
why
about yourself.
self-burn?
Yeah, I know.
I think I know the story you're about to tell.
Yeah, anyhow, so I'm at the park watching her. It's at this park in a city called Costa Mesa, which is right by Newport Beach. But,
Boy.
yeah, and so I'm sitting at this park, and it's I'm watching her play. I'm sitting there, and my dog goes with me everywhere I go, right? And even to work, but he's afraid of the machines, so he doesn't like it, so I stopped. But he's with me, and I'm walking around the park, and he's pissing on a tree, and I always listen to podcasts or music when I'm out, and since I'm watching tennis, I got to entertain myself somehow. And this guy comes over to me, and he's like, "Hey," and I'm ignoring him because I don't know him, and I don't generally talk to strangers. And he's like, "Hey." And I look, and he goes, "Hey, man, I want you to know that we're having lunch here later. We're doing this community outreach, and if you want to come over, the food's free, and we'd be more than happy to talk to you about living situations." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" And he's like, "Thanks." I'm like, I'm not homeless." And he's like, "What?" I was like, I'm not homeless. And he goes, "Oh, my apologies." And he just walked away. And I was like, oh, shit. So I look homeless enough to where a member of the outreach came up to me and asked me if I needed a warm meal and a place to sleep.
I still would have went to dinner.
I
Hell
did.
yeah,
And
dude.
I will say, I was so angry at them after I ate. But no, so that was what. So everywhere I go, just even though I'm walking a dog, and I didn't think I dressed that ratty, but time to reevaluate. I say that jokingly because I ain't ever gonna change. Cots, tell me about your garden.
All right. Well,
Swift transition.
we'll start with
A master.
It was. He gave no room for thought there. Just
Yeah,
went from
none.
fucking my story to, hey, Cots, now do you.
you're like, whoa.
It is the In my mind, it was the quickest way to get the attention off of myself. So I was like, "Hey, here,
worked.
Cots, fucking."
He had to tell
catch
that
this.
story.
I
He
did.
had no choice. I was telling everybody
I
about
got
it.
you.
I know, Cots.
I
Everyone
don't
was
want
like,
to
"Why
be
is?"
homeless anymore.
Why-
I was enthralled, dude.
I know. Mac was like, "He's homeless." Everyone's like, "What the fuck?" I was like, I told Mac offhand a story, and I thought he was killer, and it was so funny. So now everybody can be in on Mac's joke.
There we go. That's the best way to do it. Okay, so the 3x3 tent where the grow along is taking place and all of my autoflowers reside, they are crossing into day 50, 53, 54, 55, like in there. The Mephisto's wedding and the Marley's Grin are 1 and 2 days ahead of the Tangy Tibiguana and the Star Crunch crossed to Dog Walker. And they're explosive. I mean, the tent's looking pretty good right now. There's a lot of obviously there's a lot of nuances in the tent. The Tangy Tibiguana is the hungriest of them all. She's taking nutrients more than any of the others. And the Star Crunch to Dog Walker is about the only one that can even contend. So what I've been doing is, because I hand feed with bottled water, and if I'm mixing nutrients in, what I'll do is I'll mix to the strength that I want. I'm using Fox Farms, the Trio, a little bit of CalMag. I'm also kind of incorporating here and there Recharge every couple of waterings. And so I'll feed Tangy Tibiguana first, and then I'll re-dilute the water to feed the Mephisto's wedding and the Marley's Grin, and then even to a degree the Star Crunch cross to the Dog Walker. So that's how it goes. You know, when you're hand feeding, that's kind of like I get the ability to kind of do it that way. But I'm at a point now with the Tangy Tibiguana, like that we're all experiencing, where I'm getting leaf decay of various degrees and like I guess certain deficiencies. I've got light problems where the Tangy is 3 inches away from my light at 100%, and so I'm getting like calcium spotting, and all that stuff. But I mean, despite all of that, she's chunky, she's stinky, and she's fantastic. I love every bit of her. She's great, and I can't wait until she finishes. I don't think she's angry. Like, I don't think that the yellowing and stuff like that is indicative of her, like, screaming at me that she needs something. That's just, like, kind of how she is, you know?
Well,
and
she
I
is
think
pure.
we're all kind of figuring that out.
She's pure chaos, man.
Yeah.
It's
Right,
it's
exactly.
It's wonderful.
If anyone learns anything from this episode, it'll be that Tangy Tibiguana is a tall lady.
Yeah,
She really is.
Except
Goodness
mine.
gracious.
Well, mine's
She's
headless.
dropped.
So.
I mean, like, yeah,
That's
I mean,
true.
like,
Yours
and
looks
that's the
good.
thing is like, we're seeing all of these different variations of the Tangy as they're developing, and it's really fun to see the nuances in everyone's grow and how it's affecting the plant. And so this is my first grow along. I don't know about you guys. I've never experienced this before, and it's really fulfilling to just see all of this happening at once. And we're all growing the same plants, and it's fantastic. And that's my favorite tent in my garden at the moment. I just love the 3x3. It's blasting.
That's so funny
So,
because I just said the
there's-
same thing. That's my favorite tent too.
That's mine too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
And we're all, we've all got lots of things going on. I mean, like, we've all got multiple tents, and it's not our only thing in our garden, but I pay most attention to that tent because it kind of connects me to everybody, and I'm seeing the same plants in other systems, like, expressed in different ways. And it's really cool to see that,
I feel
Yeah.
like doing this with like other people of the community is really making me discipline myself to do everything I need to do when I do it. Or yeah, well, whatever I just said. That sounded like something Johnny would say.
It actually
Yeah, you
it
gotta stay on
sounded
your
great.
ones and twos though. Yeah, like you got to stay up with your stuff. Like,
Well,
you
yeah, I
can't
feel like I
forget
just
anything.
have like a constant pressure to like keep this thing looking perfect, like keep it good, make it to harvest, don't fuck up.
It's so
I took
funny
an approach
because
from the very beginning. Oh, go ahead, Rev.
no, I was just saying it's so funny because it's like 90% of that worry that you have, Mac, is hilarious to me because your plants are so beautiful. You're like, oh, it's got a little bit of this, and I'm like,
That's the
dude,
truth.
I've seen those pictures every fucking day. I know you can grow, and they look amazing. You
Yeah, but-
literally are out of options with what you can physically do.
In the beginning, with my experience, if I speak on my experience with this plant, in the beginning, she wasn't a heavy feeder while she was vegging. So like I was getting a little bit of nitrogen toxicity, like curling at the leaf tips and stuff, similar to what you were seeing. But I was able to tone that back to correct it. And so maybe, but once she hit flower, dude, it's like munch, as much as she can get. The 2 plants are drinking 10 gallons of water in 3 days.
That's insane. It's crazy.
That's
I mean,
wild.
they look amazing. It's wild because when Johnny and I were going to do the grow along in solo cups, right? Like when we first had this idea and we started building on it. And so when it finally became what it is now, I'm like, fuck, I'm so glad we had that idea because it's turned out so well and it could have turned out so shitty.
Well, I'm gonna
It
get
could
around to
just-
that too because I have a smaller tangy in another tent, and she's
That's right.
not doing fantastic.
Oh, no. What happened?
But yeah, well, okay,
no,
so
go in.
I'll dive into the tiny Tibby in the bonsai pot.
Okay.
And I'm not saying she's doing horrible. It's more along the lines of on a smaller scale, the transitions that happen, they really happen much quicker insofar as how it affects the plant. So, maybe if I'm not feeding with nutrients on one watering, the way in which the plant responds in that really small application, the swings happen and they can be tough. So I'm experiencing the leaf color change a lot quicker, and I'm not seeing like decay or anything like that. Like, and she's still really photogenic. I lost a few fan leaves when I did my last kind of, I pull her out of the tent and I'll put her under the light and I'll do my work like that so I can film it. And I took a couple of the leaves off due to decay. But yeah, she's not green. I can only feed her so much. The concentration that I give her is, I have to mix it in a much smaller ratio, so it's tough. I'm excited about her still. She's off of the top of my head, I think she's in her day 30s. I think she's day 30, but what's the 23rd? No, she's day 43 today.
Oh,
I
whoa.
think. Did I do my math right? The 15th was day 1, the 15th of October, so 30...
Mac and I are off the clock,
38.
dude.
I don't know, dude. I'm not going to do the math. She's doing okay. She's sitting in the tent with my clones. I've moved her to the propagation tent. Obviously, she had no business in the 3x3 because the 3x3 got spaced out real quick. So I have this little shorty 2x2 across the way, and in that tent I've got a successfully rooted clone of the Mimosa Blast. This one is my favorite pheno, the one that I decided to keep. I'm just like my wife and I, we like nickname our strains. I just love to do that. So we've nicknamed this one Sunshine because she's basically like orange juice, like straight up OJ. She's very mimosa leaning. She's the mother in a cross that I made earlier this year called the Sunny V, and I crossed her with the Vader OG.
Right.
So she's the surviving mother of that. That's where I'm gonna take that line. She's rooted in a solo cup. I'm really excited about that. She's also next to two of the Tias, which is the Wedding Pie crossed to the Gelato 41. Those are rooted as well. And the reason why that's significant to me is because the third of my varieties that I'm keeping, the Vader OG, doesn't really like to root out that well. And I did a really rudimentary cloning method that I don't really recommend if you're absolutely trying to save cuts, like a high risk situation. But I was cloning in cans, in aluminum cans. My Tia and the Mimosa Blast, they loved it. They had a great time. They rooted out in a week or two, and I had them in solo cups, and they were great. The Vader didn't want this. The Vader wants to be pampered. She wants to be in the Aero cloner with the water running 24/7 and me spritzing her a couple times a day under the dome. She wants to be taken care of, and I didn't take care of her, and I think I'm going to lose her. I still have her in a cup, but
Are
we'll
you
see.
seeing any roots?
So I'm seeing scarification, which is like the step
Pre-roots,
right before
yeah.
roots. Yeah.
Mhm.
And so I'm keeping her in the cup. I'm changing the water out. But we'll see. I'm not
You using aloe?
I'm kind of. Yeah, I have a little aloe, and it's straight aloe. Like I'm cutting a little bit off of an aloe plant, in that we keep. And so we just like take a tiny little bit, just a little bit, just like less than like a pinky, and we just kind of dip it in there, and I'll change it with the water. So we might get a rooted cutting out of this, and we might not. I'm glad that if I'm losing anything, I'm losing the Vader, because the Vader is backed up, really backed up. I
So-
did a reproduction of the Vader, so.
Oh, okay.
Was that
you
question,
got
Johnny?
seeds of her? Yeah, I did have it. You have seeds of her, and she's flowering out right now, right?
Yes, both are true.
So
I
you
have, 2 more
could potentially
plants
still
flowering
take
out.
a cut. It would just be a monster crop. So you could save her that way too.
Absolutely. I absolutely could do that, and I might actually think about doing that. If I can prevent it from being a real estate issue, I will absolutely do that. And the thing about it is that I'll know whether or not the clone is successful well before I have to even make that decision, because the girls in the 2x2 in flower right now, I'm calling that my mom reset tent. It's a 2x2. I've got everything trellised in there. There's 2 Vader OG moms in there, a Tia mom, and then a Mimosa Blast mom. And they're in week 3 of flowers, so they've got a long way to go. They're healthy. There's 2 Vaders. I can cut one down and re-veg if I wanted to, and just kind of like do it that way. I could monster crop. I could take a clone right now off of a lower if I wanted to. The thing about it is that it's really low stakes, because I was able to do a reproduction on the Vader OG earlier in the year, and I have a massive stock of seeds. Also, it's worth mentioning that the Vader OG is an inbred line that has been worked for a long time. So there's already a lot of stability there, even when I'm bottlenecking it by just taking a single male and crossing it to a single female. I'm pretty confident that the progeny will be very similar, very identical, and I'll be able to pull the flavors I want out of a single run, right? I'll be able to plant 6 beans and find a mom that I want to keep again next year. So that is not the case for the Tia. That is not the case for the Mimosa. I'll be lucky if I ever find those flavors. I think you can find orange juice, but you're never going to be able to find the Tia nose in the exact way that you have it. And that's just how, when you get into these like super complex polyhybrids, that's why the cuts are so important, because recreating a flavor is going to be a little bit difficult when the line is so crossed. so deeply crossed into other varieties, and the progeny is going to be just wild. So, so I've got that mom tent, and then across the way I've got the other final 2x2 tent, and that has my 6 plants. This is not my favorite tent, but these are my favorite plants. I've got the 3 Purist Indica from Ag Seed Co., and then the 3 Lilac Diesel BX4s from Ethos Genetics. And they're just vegging out. I've topped them. They're in 1-gallon pots. I'm waiting for them to give me the proper branching that I'm going to need to take a healthy clone so that I can sex them out and then start to hunt, man. It's a little tiny little pheno hunt in a 2x2 tent. And that's my garden.
You've got a lot going on, man. You and Johnny. It's fun to listen to.
Yeah.
Love it. So the 3 of the three from the Ag Seed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those were extra in the pack that you bought, right?
They were extra in the sense that the pack of seeds cost the same amount that I've paid for any of the Ag Seed Co. packs, which the full packs are $100 even. Traditionally, though, they will only give you 10 seeds, so you're paying $10 per seed. It's pretty standard across the industry, right? So I'm not complaining there. But sometimes when he does releases or promotions of releases, and in this case with the Purist Indica, I was given 3 extra seeds for the same price. And in my mind, I'm going, well, okay, for all of these other packs that I have of his that I'm going to want to do reproductions, I'm going to be doing it off of a 10 seed line. And so this extra 3 beans is nothing more than an opportunity for me to kind of like dip into the pack and see what I'm getting right off the bat. You know, I'll obviously save the females if I like them, and the males I'm thinking about what I'm going to do about that. I can't really give you a solid answer. But
Now with
that's fine.
the Purist Indicas, if I'm not mistaken, those are essentially the parents to the Northern Lights line, correct? Like Northern Lights line is a phenotype
Correct.
of the Purist Indica.
So according to Greg, who gave the seeds to Neville Schumacher in the 80s. This is the gentleman who started the Holland Seed Bank, and that's where we first started to see the Northern Lights lines, right? So Greg gave the Northern Lights lines to Neville, but did not give Neville the Purist Indica, which was the mother plant that they experimented with in making the Northern Lights lines. And the reasoning that Todd uses when he explains this, when he gives this story, and even Greg himself, he went on to a Breeders' Syndicate episode and explained this himself, that he didn't give the Purist Indica to Neville was because he didn't want him to reproduce those lines himself. So he kept the Purist Indica, and through various means, the Purist Indica didn't make it officially into the canon of popular cultivars in the U.S. Instead, just like a lot of these old lines, they were kept very closely in small circles, and those small circles eventually eroded, right? Except for there was a light at the end of the tunnel in this specific situation, because Greg's sister, whom he had given these seeds to, saved them in her freezer for several decades until she passed, and her family went in and found them and returned the seeds to Greg, to which Greg was able to reach out to Todd and gift these seeds to Todd. Todd made a reproduction of them, and now we've got this line that is so old and so connected to these original lines. And it's a great story. The Purist Indica was given to Greg as a gift from Murphy Stevens aka Steve Murphy, who wrote a seminal 70s book on indoor cannabis cultivation and used the Purist Indica in that book as an example of his indoor cultivation. And I was showing pictures in the Discord today, and it looks spot on to my plant. It looks spot on to the plants that Todd grew when he did the reproduction himself. You can see it right there from the 1975 book. It is an Afghani, a Highland Afghani. So it's short, it's squat, it's broadleaf. It's beautifully dark, leathery. I just love it, dude. It's such an ancient line, man. It's so crazy to think about that this plant was given to a friend of a friend of Steve's, who had gone on a vacation in Afghanistan during a period of peacetime when Westerners were able to actually travel through the region and speak with the locals and trade genetics. And so it was given to this friend of Steve's, and we don't know how long this line was kept, but we know it was a hash plant, and we know it's a very, very old variety that was kept by a family for a long time. That's just how it was back then. So I love that we're able to get these things now. I'm really I'll sing the high praise on Ag Seed Co. Johnny, I know you'll do the same thing because these skunks are going to turn out really well for you, and I'm really excited to see how those go.
Do you happen to know
stuff.
anything about his reproduction method? Do you know, does he do open pollination?
Yeah. Yes, he does. And well, here's the thing. So Todd has said that when he does these pollinations, that he does do open pollinations. He also works in a greenhouse. That's what I know about his cultivation practices in that sense. And that he only runs a single male every year so he can prevent cross-contamination, because I know that's a huge problem, especially in greenhouses. And really, especially when you're talking about preserving lines like this, it's not lost on any of us how important it is to do it right when you're doing seed preservation and you want to protect the genetic, and you cannot risk contaminating that line. So, from what I gather, he only does his single male varietal, right? If he's using multiple males, and he explains this. I'm getting this information from him coming on to other podcasts. He's very vocal on his own Instagram, where he talks about a lot of these things. And he shows up as a guest in a lot of podcasts. You can definitely catch Todd everywhere talking about Ag Seed Co. and talking about his lines. He's not quiet about it.
Cool.
That's the reason why I know all of these things. But yeah, man, I'm super stoked.
Yeah, I am super stoked as well.
You guys should be. Just don't fuck it up.
So we're going to try not to, man. Speaking of genetics, I really did want to move into this because we can all agree here that it was definitely a busy month for genetics acquisition. And we all, I think, have some stories about that, and I'd really love to hear those. Rev, why don't we start with you? What did you collect this month, and talk to us about that?
Okay, so Halloween, as always, is a busy month for seeds. I thought Daz wasn't going. I mean, I guess we all kind of figured that it would be something like. Or we were thinking Valentine's Day at the earliest.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wasn't really expecting that one, but I was looking into a lot of meth stuff, or one thing, the super blood orange haze. But I ended up, because of Daz's drop, and of course Alabri haze, I got the strawberry milk and cookies, and Saint Expeditus, which is Zelomedica. I cannot speak tonight. My apologies. Express, the purple carrot pheno. and
Zamadelica.
Zamadelica, thank you. But yeah, so I'm very excited for that one. And I want to thank Mac. Mac, if it wasn't for Mac, I would have missed so much of everything popping off for the sales and everything.
Agreed.
Daz seemed to have
Times
a
a
pretty
million.
good
Thank you,
stock of everything, though. Like they went public with it. You could buy it on premium like a few days early, and they went public with it, and they still had everything available. So that was cool.
Yeah,
That
regardless,
was a nice
though,
surprise.
Still nice to get the information quickly and be able to get it. So again, thank you, because I was
Oh,
I got
absolutely.
I got that first thing in the morning because I was probably like 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning for me maybe, and so I was like sleeping my
Right.
eyes. I bought the strawberry milk and cookies because it was in my cart twice before when the website crashed.
Dude, that happened to
Twice.
me too. I was so pissed.
Dude, I've never been. I was so angry, and like I remember finally missing out on it, and then just like I was like, oh, I don't know what else I'm gonna get because I was pretty dumb and I was pouting, so I went and got coal miners cookies, and I was like, whatever, and then a day or later I went on and got what I wanted, but I just remember being like so upset. And then the second, where when it happened the second time, I had a backup list rather, and so when I didn't get it, I was like, God damn it, or well, and then I got some other stuff. But
I know
I
it's a
was
little
glad.
off track, but I did the same thing before, like the first time for that drop that you're talking about. Yeah, I made a list on my phone in order of priority, like which ones I wanted to go for if I didn't get the strawberry milk and cookies.
That's so
well,
smart.
the strawberry milk and cookies came with the bundle, I guess, but that's what it
Yeah,
was.
yeah. There was like I remember, yeah,
That's
like
how
going,
Cap got it the first time, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
he
Got
got
it
the
in the bundle.
bundaroo.
The
The
bundle-
bundaroo.
Shout out to Captain Autoflower, of course.
What else did you get?
So I got Juicy. So I didn't end up getting any any Mephisto. Mostly because of the whole handling of the box thing was just hilarious to me, and I was just like, well, I've already spent money. I don't need to buy more seeds, so I was just.
I
Kinda
just
comical
wasn't
about
super interested in anything on that list.
Yeah, I mean the only interesting thought I had was if I get the purple pheno of the super orange haze, and I actually get the purple pheno of Saint Expeditus, that would be pretty cool to have two purple phenos in the same tent. But
Oh, yeah.
but how unlikely that is, it wasn't worth spending the money.
I agree.
So-
That would
so
be
I
cool,
For
though.
sure, yeah.
It would be perfect, but it would just be like so unlikely that it would just be like I have a backup list anyway of like stuff want to grow next, and so it was like I could skip all of the Meth's Halloween stuff, but I got everything except for you got Scoopsy, right, Mac? What else did you get?
Yeah, from Night Owl,
Yeah,
all I got was strawberry milk and cookies and Scoopski, but I got 3 packs of strawberry milk and cookies.
smart.
Hell yes.
I sold one,
You got to
and
stop
then
it.
I sold one to a friend, and then I have some to trade if anybody has anything good to trade.
Smart man.
That is an incredibly intelligent thing to do, especially in a trading community, to double up your packs.
Way smarter than me.
Yeah, and I didn't rip nobody off on that pack I sold either.
There you go.
I even
You were
put
just
some
doing a friend
freebies
of
in
it.
there.
Bingo.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, that's fun.
What about you? Anything else though, Mac?
Oh yeah. So
Yeah, unload.
I love how you.
dude.
Oh yeah,
it's actually not as much
like
as
the fucking
as
Kool
you
Aid
would
guy
think.
busting through the wall. Oh yeah.
But it's like stuff I'm really excited about. So I got True Mac from Rockbud. I got it
Nice.
from this dude, Elite KC Auto. He does his own crosses with rock stuff and other genetics too, but he sent me the True Mac Auto 5-pack and 2 packs of seeds that he bred,
Dope.
and it was like for face value of what Rock would charge. So that was pretty cool of him.
Cool deal.
That's awesome.
Then
Now, I don't know anything about True Mac. Do you have anything that you can say about it? I don't know much about it other than it's a Mac Auto. Is that correct?
Yeah, so it's Mac times Grape Dosey Breath Auto.
Oh, okay.
I know.
Okay. And does
Captain
it express
grew it.
Mac?
Captains look like Mac. Like, he posted
Cool.
some pictures of it the other day, and it looked like some frosty ass Mac nugs that you would see
Heck yes.
anywhere. It looked good.
Right.
I'm
Like that
excited to watch
traditional
you grow
Mac.
it.
So I'm growing that next.
Hell yeah.
And then
Heck yes.
I picked up Juicy Ajoloro from Alebrije, and I think I might run that next with it. And I'm going to run Strawberry Milk and Cookies for sure. So
That's right.
but-
You got to fill out that 4x4.
then I picked up some photo beans too. I got Soulfire How to Drop, so I picked up Mixtape Volume 2. It's like a 6-pack of seeds that you could get so that you can get like 3 different strains, and you get 2 of each from the new drop so that you don't have to buy like 3 packs or 6 packs.
Hey.
That's smart.
And so I picked that up, and it has banana clips, Mad Dog, and Shot Collar in there, which they're crosses from it's the Hood Candies line. So I couldn't tell you what all's in it. I'm sure the genetic
Pretty cool.
the lineage tree on that's probably pretty long, but then I won 3 Soulfire giveaways in their Discord. So I got some packs from that.
Fire, dude.
Yeah, man. I'm excited
Did you get
about
those
it.
in the mail?
Yeah, I got-
What were those,
I
what were
got,
those winter packs? I gotta hear it.
I got Bad and Bougie. It's
Okay.
strain called Bougie times his Black Banana. It's from the Black Banana drop that he did. And then I got the freebies with my order that I put in was Hood Trophies, which is his biddies times his Hood Candies. And then
Ooh.
Smile Now, Cry Laters, which is Now and Laters times Hood Candies. And it says, I'm excited about that one. It says, fuses the beautiful blackened coloration of Hood Candies with the ever greasy frosty Now and Laters. The flowers exploded with pungent Z terps in this cross. Flavor Chaser's Delight.
I can
So.
get down with that.
Yeah. I believe it's terpy as fuck because this Pucker Up has the most flavor of anything I've ever tried, I think.
Wow, bold statement. That's awesome. Pucker up, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's good stuff, man. Especially the flower rosin, dude. It's like super flavorful.
What a great name, too, dude. Pucker up. I like that.
Yeah.
It's dope.
Some sour apples in it, baby.
Yep. Johnny, did you
Sir.
collect?
Oh, yeah, I'm always collecting, but October did happen to
Man.
be a pretty good month.
Yeah, talk to us about it.
Let's go through the notes. I made me some notes based on some recommendations.
Whoever
so-
recommended that to you is a goddamn genius.
A homeless genius. So I got the strawberry milk and cookies from Night Owl. I got a pack, and then went, fuck, man. If I love these, they're fucking autoflow. So I got another pack. So I got 2 packs of that. I'll run one, and then one will go
Another
in the
wise
archive.
Yeah, smarter than I.
And I.
See. So I did get some Green Guy genetics. I got the blueberry grape and broken leg.
Nice. I got some of his funeral desserts. Shout out to Big Green Guy, one of the nicest guys.
Yeah, how could I forget? I got invited to join his test team, so I'm running a couple of his testers, and
Fuck,
I
I don't
got
feel
some-
so bad now.
I got some blueberry grape too.
Dude,
Yeah,
you
I was
guys
gonna
gotta unload. Yeah, what'd you get?
I was gonna mention that. I forgot. Yeah, I
How
got
the
blueberry.
fuck did...
I got blueberry grape and
Dude.
the AA testers, but I can't tell you guys about those really. But they're doing good. They're looking good. I'm growing them out in 1 gallons.
Hell yeah.
Sorry, Johnny. I totally jacked your time here, but I had to
Yeah.
apologize.
Time was
Yeah.
the word you were looking
He,
for. Uh-huh.
he had to apologize. Your Big Green Guy was going to show up.
Yeah,
What?
give me the fucking boot.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you didn't talk about my shit, motherfucker.
I'm in California and I'm afraid for you. No, I'm just kidding.
I
Anywho,
believe that when
Johnny.
he beats people's ass, he really does paint himself green.
Oh, I can imagine.
That's how he's
that's
unrecognizable.
And there's nothing he's not good at, so I'm sure getting away with
Oh, I
murder
know.
would be like top easy for him.
Yeah, no shit.
He's already done it, dude. I was,
Shit.
you know, there used to be a guy that's I was saying some bad stuff about his genetics, and he just stopped posting. I never heard from him again. Anywho, Johnny, sorry, you received your broken leg.
Johnny, yeah.
Yeah, hold on. I'm about to call.
You're not about to cough
I'll
when you're
smoke to that.
coughing.
Yeah, Jesus. So I got some stir fry genetics. I don't know if that's the name he's deciding to go by, but he's pretty active in the Discord, and he reached out, and I ordered some Super Freak IBLs. I got a pack of them, and he threw in some freebies with that. He got Embers number 4 from Raw cross with Pine Tar Kush. And then
So cool.
some OIG number 5 cross with Loompa Goo 2nd generation genetics.
Yeah, he had some cool shit, dude.
Yeah, he had some crazy
Bro.
mixes. He
That
had
super
some-
freak he
Dude,
grew
the
was
stuff that he was.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Dude,
we
it
gotta
was
get him.
beautiful.
We gotta get him on to sit down and go over his outdoor grow.
He
one
was
day.
just putting packs up on the genetics channel.
Oh, that's right. You were talking
Just
to him
stuff
today.
that he was collecting. Man, dude, he had a Wailing Valley landrace. He had a Malawi. He had a Cambodian that he said was a 25 weeker. Oh my gosh,
Holy
man!
shit.
He had some.
Jeez,
Dude, I just looked at it. I was like, "Oh my god, dude! Like, what? Like this is stuff that people search for forever and sometimes never find. Like,
wasn't
wow,
he? Wasn't he
I'm very
growing some?
impressed.
Wasn't he growing some Einstein pipe or two?
I think so. He grows a lot. I mean, like,
Yeah,
we were
his
talking
outdoor
about
grows are
various
beautiful.
cacti the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of entheogenic plants, just really fun stuff. Sacred plants, really cool
Righteous.
stuff.
Sorry,
I can't
again,
wait to have him
Mad
John.
props, stir fry. Mad props, brother.
Yeah, I can't wait to get him on and chat it up with him.
okay,
love how you
Johnny.
guys
You could
just change
continue.
I know. We'll allow you to finish your story.
Sorry, Johnny.
No,
You
hey,
just got us
listen.
excited.
I'm glad to have you. I'll keep interrupting all you want, man.
We're fucking Johnnying up Johnny's part.
Nah.
In the yeah.
The last acquisition I got was 7 East put out some genetics, and I grabbed the Apple Dragon from 7 East. So I'm excited to run those two at some point, but the list goes on and on and on.
Well, you did just get another tent.
Yeah, that's for the missus, so she can run that. And I'm going to take that cheesy one back downstairs to clone with. And 'cause I was having success running that cloner on the floor down there.
Yeah.
It seemed like the cold basement floor helped keep the water cool on the cloning machine.
It's fucking dope, dude.
That's good stuff.
Oh
Yep.
yeah. There is some genetics that is making the money in my pocket start to burn a hole. Canorado came out with they dropped their papaya line. So it's like all papaya crosses. And papaya terps are so good. So good. I love it.
I have not had papaya terps.
Oh, it's so good. If you ever try, like if you ever buy rosin or anything and they have a papaya one, get that.
For sure.
100%.
Yeah.
It's going to be so good,
I hear
dude.
about it, man, and I know, like, I think I know, but, like, you don't really know until you taste it, and someone's like, this is the papaya terp, and you try it. So, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it seems to come through on the flour that I've had of that, too, pretty well. I'm just regular,
But
just original papaya. So these crosses they came out with, man, I'm really trying hard not to spend any money. I promised myself I wouldn't.
Dude, yeah.
You know when the
so
best
tempting.
time to spend the money is right before Christmas.
Goodness gracious.
That's the only reason I don't have those packs in the arsenal already.
Exactly, dude.
Man, I came out of the Tangy Tib Iguana drop not wanting to buy any more packs and not really thinking about what was going to happen on the eve of Halloween when all these companies were going to drop at the same time. And so I went into that knowing that I was going to get the juicy Ajaloro above all things. Just by virtue of a lot of things, like I'm seeing the tangy right now come to fruition in my tent, and it is a sudden and total realization of the truth that I already knew, which was that Alebrije breeds fire. Like, the terps aren't lying. The plant is beautiful. The freebie is beautiful. They smell great. Nothing is going to convince me otherwise at this point. And that's just based on the plants alone, and not that I'm a ferocious collector of things that I like and these pins that he puts in these. I just love it, dude. I love stickers, and I know everyone does the stickers, but to have another layer, I just enjoy that so much. And so I went into this drop. I knew I was going to get the Ajaloro. And then I got hit with the middle of the night, hey, we're going to drop the strawberry milk and cookies
Yeah.
F2 tester.
Daz came in, surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Right, here we go. I'm over here counting pennies, what am I going to do? I need to figure this out. I'm only going to spend so much money, right? And as far as the information I had going into Halloween, I was looking over at the meth drop going what am I going to get here? Do I want any of this stuff? And the white cream looked really good to me just because that's my flavor. I would have, I might still pick that up, but what ended up happening ultimately was the strawberry milk and cookies came out from left field and surprised me. And like everyone else, it's kind of auto flower hype. Let's be honest. The strawberry milk and cookies is auto flower hype.
Yep.
And I want to get in on it, right? We're all going to grow this plant. We've seen it grown out. It's beautiful. People have tried it in the community. They're saying great things about it. So yeah, I had to pick that pack up, right?
Oh yeah.
And as a result, I didn't get a pack of meth beans, and I'm not hating on meth. I'll always support meth. I mean, I'm not gonna say I'll always support meth, but I love Mephisto genetics, and I'll continue to run them. It's just priorities, man. You gotta get the important stuff when you can, because sometimes FOMO hits us all, but we got to prioritize, and sometimes the stuff you want will not come again. So
Yeah.
that was my experience.
I think for the audience, the best way to get over FOMO is to not be friends with Mac, because he's constantly getting cool shit, and you want to. Unfortunately, he's a really good friend of mine, so I'm constantly locked in that battle.
No. I'm the
real.
first one to tell a motherfucker, if you ain't got it, don't spend it.
Amen.
For sure.
I will say though
And I wi-
that there is a loophole. You see, when one of your favorite breeders releases beanies and handmade coffee mugs
Oh yeah.
that come with free seeds if you buy the beanie
yes.
or the coffee mug, it's a
isn't
different
one of-
story.
Isn't one of those free packs that come along with that amazing beanie and coffee mug? I think I'm going beanie. What are you guys doing?
Both. I'm
Mug.
getting
Yeah,
my
that's
wife
smart.
the coffee mug.
Fucking that's
Look,
smart, dude.
Here's the deal. My wife crochets beanies like a mad woman. She kills it, right?
Dude,
so I got
have her make
beanies
me
for
some.
days. Oh, it's already happening. I would have gone out with it would have gone out, but I'll talk to you about it. Anyway,
dope.
I've got lots of beanies, and I love beanies. Like I can never really have enough. But these ceramic mugs, dude, are insane. They are so cool. They're fantastic.
They are beautiful. But isn't one of them is a Mack auto, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
the
even
True
know.
Mac cross to the dog walker is what it
Yeah.
is, and
Oh,
off the top of
shit.
my head, I can't remember what that one's called. I think it's the gingerbread. That's
Yeah, I
the
think it is.
one that I want, dude. Because first of all, Mac talking about how he just copped the True Mac.
I was gonna say
And
Mac.
then
That
this
could be
is
a
a
tent
True
mate.
Mac to the dude. Yeah.
I know that just fucked up my
I'm
whole plan.
intrigued about that. You don't know what you're getting with what, though. That's the thing. Well, Mac knows because he's going to buy both, but I won't know because I'm just getting the mug. It'll be a surprise to me. I am getting it. Wife has already approved. The mug is going to her. I'll get to
It's
see
a
it.
dope mug. Yeah, you'll get to
She's
clean
going to drink
it every once
coffee
in a
out of
while.
it every day. Yeah, I'll get to clean it, right. Exactly. I'll get to drink some tea out of it sometimes, maybe.
Yeah.
But great way to get me to spend money when I've already said I'm not going to spend any more money.
I
He's
know.
a master of that. He's a master. But if you think about what comes in the pack, right? It's amazing. That the first tangy came with a plant marker. The second one came with a dope ass Mexican arrowhead. And it's got the lineage and the family tree on the printed card. That's real nice. So that's a cool. And they're all numbered and they're limited editions.
Yeah, it's badass.
It's super cool.
Yeah,
And
you
you
just
know what?
can't go
He's a
wrong
friend
there.
of ours. And I'll always shill for my
Exactly.
homie.
Well, next time he gets
Yes.
I know he's listening to this, so next time you get T-shirts, just grab 1 2X and sit that bad boy to the side for Mac, and I'll come through and grab it.
Hell yes.
Johnny.
I need me a
absolutely.
T-shirt.
Yeah, seriously. Johnny,
I
are you
do.
still alive? Are you still alive?
Yeah, dude. I'm listening.
Hey,
Are you slowly
I-
catching up?
Nah, dude, I'm listening.
You had
I'm
a
here.
great transitional point, Rev, with the hand-carved obsidian arrowhead that was
Oh, yeah.
offered to us in the pack of the juicy Ahaloro that we all copped. And that brings me to a really interesting point that I think I would love to talk about this evening, and that is the topic of totems and mascots, which is something that is really popular in our community. I think we can all agree. And
For sure.
we've taken it in all kinds of fun directions. I don't know if I can offer a whole lot of wisdom on where this began, but I can tell you that I wasn't putting totems in my garden or necessarily keeping mascots up until recently, within the last 2 years. I know this definitely was something that came out of, and I'm gonna call it here. I think it was a cultivation conversation thing. I don't know. What can you guys say about this? Do you know where this originated from, and were you practicing this before cultivation conversation? Can anyone speak to that?
Well, I know that Captain talked about he always put crystals in his pots, and I know in the YouTube video
Yes.
that I caught him of his that actually got me to be a a fan and then a friend of his was a soil preparation video. It's super, super fun, isn't it, guys? Everyone's listening like, holy crap. But I know that he put crystals in his pot, and I work for a guy who also owns a crystal company, and I always put crystals on top of my stuff because they're the company's crystals, and generally we're doing some kind of research with things, right? And so when we do big photo runs at work for research, we have if we're doing crystal treated water, grow next to crystal, blah, 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 we also have control and stuff like that. So it's just kind of something I've seen in practice. So I also did, but I also have always put like frogs or stuff and shit like that because I always just like customizing.
Right.
So that's my take. That's what I do. That's my little totem. What about you, Johnny?
I just followed everybody else's lead. I don't know. I saw everybody put shit in the tent, so I started putting shit in my tent. I don't fucking know.
Heck yeah, dude.
Johnny's got the stuffed nug.
Nug, yeah. Dude, the nug is so cool, Johnny.
Nugless,
dude.
My mom
rad,
got me that.
Dude.
I have
I'm
Randy
such a huge
Savage
fan.
hanging off of my tangy tube iguana, and he's on anabolic steroids.
Yeah.
So that's my
Fit.
secret.
Right.
There you go, people.
That's it.
It's
The
because
cream rises
The
to the
cream
top,
always
dude.
rises. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. That's it. That's
Got
it.
just get you a fucking Randy Savage Funko Pop
Exactly.
and a couple vials of
Damn,
steroids
dude.
from your local LA Fitness.
We got to collect everybody's totems now and put it on the Your Average Grow Instagram page.
Oh yeah. Take
100%.
pictures.
Yes. So, but I'm with you, Rev. So I've been listening to the cultivation conversation since the beginning, and I'm not sure if he talked about it before, but in the September 2021 episode, Good Vibrations, he got on there with G3, like well before she became a member of the show, and they started talking about charging plants
Tone
with music.
generators and all kinds of stuff.
And dude, and Cap straight up in that episode comes out and he's like, I use crystals in my pots. I charge my crystals. And he's like, everyone needs to look up crystals and put them in your pots. He said that verbatim. And I was like, okay. Like, I love, don't give me an excuse to research something because I'm going to do it. And I already had crystals. I love crystals, man. I love stones. I don't have a large collection, but I'm into it.
Yeah, it's super popular in the gardening community, though. Like, there's a whole world to
Absolutely.
it that I had no idea existed until that
Right.
podcast episode.
100%. And I
there's a
found
whole
it
science out
immediately
there,
looking
guys.
into it. And it blew my mind, guys. It blew my mind. And that was September of last year, right? So, like, we're talking about a couple of months that this is cooking inside of my head. And this year, like 2022, starting with the flower moon and basically going through the hunter and beaver moon, I'm out there every night charging, every full moon, charging water, charging my stones.
Chaos
And
moon
then,
water.
and then utilizing that right in my garden. And yeah, I have a funny little story about that. I've charged, dude, I'm listening to this talked about on the podcast and doing light research, we'll call it, when it comes to the charging. But I want to fuck around and find out. So I just charged everything that I could think to charge, right? We're throwing charged moon water in with the plants. All right, cool. I'm buying jugs of moon water. Full moon comes around, I'm throwing it out there all night. And I got this, and along with my stones as well. And I wasn't originally putting the stones in the pots, but then I started to, right? And this is well before I got into with our Discord community and everything. And I'm just doing this kind of like at home, right? No mascots, no like official totems. I'm just kind of like sticking a stone in a pot, right? Just, Cap's doing it. So, and I'm charging all this stuff anyway. So yeah, can I speak with certainty that it's been helping? Yeah, I think it's definitely been helping me. Like, I think it's been really fun, and the more I read into it, the more I look into it, the more I research it, the more I get into it. And I don't know if you guys have experienced the same thing or gone down that rabbit hole, but it's pretty cool. Mac, I know you were saying like this is very popular in the gardening community in general. So
Yeah, it just gives you one more thing to be excited about. Like, you know that feeling when you really just believed in something when you were a kid and you were innocent and you just believed in things and it just felt amazing to just believe? Like,
yeah,
it's kind of like the same feeling. Like, you think it's
absolutely.
You believe that it is doing something and it gives you something to be excited about. So
Well,
I say
it's
go for it, whether you think it's bullshit or not. It looks cool.
also, that's the only reason to ever do anything is because it looks fucking cool.
Right.
But no, there's science to crystals. We do studies at work constantly on it, right? In fact, we have multiple studies on the website about germination rates and versus structured water with crystals and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's what one of the companies that we work with does, man. They sell crystals and all that stuff. So
It's badass.
there's, it's
Crazy,
the
man.
Arc crystals, but if you
I'm
if you
win
want to
me
look,
some of those.
yeah, you're gonna really need to try hard to win those.
I'm trying.
That's funny. No, but any like there's all the studies are on the website. I'm not a scientist or a salesman, so I just design and make the stuff, brother.
Right.
But I definitely
neither are any of us.
Yeah,
we're
but I
just
definitely-
having fun in the garden.
I always think about it this way, right? Like a quartz crystal can power a watch, right? So there's inherent energy in a crystal. So it couldn't hurt.
Right.
So if it don't
Now,
hurt, you might as well.
The mascots, and even to the extent totems, right? Because I think they play into each other hand in hand. That was something that I didn't actually think about or apply to my garden until this specific grow along that we're having with the tangy tibiguana. A lot of it had to do with the fact that we were going to be photographing these plants. I saw that for us, the early planters, that this was happening. Rev, you were one of the earlier planters, and you had your. I saw your mascots come out, and I saw your totems come out too, very early. So it was a no-brainer to when this happened, and this was all happening within the same week. We were all planting at the same time. There were a couple of people that trickled in a little bit later, but it was a trend among all of us. There were totems in almost every pot, and there were all kinds of stuff. I used a shark's tooth. I used some petrified glass that you find on the beach. That was sort of the trend with me, is that it was stuff that I had all found down by the sand, a shell, and a what do you call it? A starfish, a sand dollar. There it is. Oh, I said starfish. A sand dollar, a broken sand dollar for the Star Crunch cross to the dog walker. And I just it was just kind of like one of those things where I was like, okay, what can I put in my 4 pots? It's going to have sort of a theme. It's going to be fun. And that's kind of how it transpired. And I just think it's one of the coolest things that's happened with this grow along is that we've all gotten a little creative and we're giving our plants little friends, little trinkets to come along for the ride, right?
It helps distinguish your plant from others, right? It's like a little customization.
Yeah,
is always
exactly.
Cool. And as Johnny
Beyond
puts
the really
it,
cool plant tag.
yeah, as Johnny puts it, it's what do you say? It's a photography competition, not a growing competition.
Exactly. That's what it's all gonna boil down to is a fucking photograph,
We're all
anyways.
taking pictures.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and I've started putting mascots in my garden too. Like I think that's just way cool as well. And I've got kids, so like, grabbing some stuffed animals here and there, some little plushies. I've got my share, and I've collected some pretty fun ones. I've got 3 in my garden right now. I have an Alebrije, Dante, the Alebrije Dante from the Disney film, and I don't know if anyone has seen Coco, guys.
Yeah.
Nope.
And I saw your picture that you posted of that, and it was freaking awesome.
Hanging by the tent, man.
Yeah, I love Coco, and I highly recommend it. If you ever have an opportunity to see this film, it's beautiful. It is beautiful, and it is moving. Both of those things are very true about this film. And it's one of my children's favorite films, and so this plush has showed up in my house. I can't really tell you, dude. Plush toys come and go. Let me tell you, it's one of those things. But I snagged this one, brought it in. I have a little dinosaur, little green dinosaur. I don't think I've taken a picture of it yet. That hangs out on top of my 3x3 as well. And then finally, I have a Beanie Baby that we keep in the tent above the 3x3 as well. And this Beanie Baby sits in a 2-liter mason jar. And there's a funny story around that. My wife's friend came at us a couple months ago, like earlier in the year, with a gigantic tote of Beanie Babies, just this massive tote. She was moving. Her parents had given her this tote. She hadn't really gone through it. It was her collection from the 90s and back then when Beanie Babies were huge collectibles. And she had them just kind of stored away, and she didn't want them anymore. We were like, yeah, bring them over. The kids will mess with them, right? And she brought him over. She had told my wife before she brought him over that she had picked out all of the Beanie Babies that had any kind of value. And I don't know anything about Beanie Baby collectibles in general, so I don't really know what that means. But
Wait, are they still collectible?
To a degree, yes, and then to another degree,
Christ.
no. And I only did a little bit of research, but what I did do was I saw the Beanie Babies as they came out of this tote, and I realized oh wow, every single one of these is tagged with the protective tag on them. They weren't just collected, they were collected and they were cared for. This was a carefully curated collection of Beanie Babies that was kept in pristine condition for a couple of decades, and then decided to just give them away. Maybe the market had crashed on them. I don't know, but she didn't want them anymore, and they were ours. And I had no business, because I'm a collector, so I have this collective mindset, I have to, maybe these have value, and so I had to really quickly, be you know what, no, I don't care. You guys have fun with them. I was a Beanie Baby collector back in the day myself. I'm aging myself here, but it was a huge deal back in the day. Can you guys hear my dog? By the way,
but it's all good.
Did that come through? Okay.
Yeah, but it's part of the bong rips, and it's
Just
the
keep-
vibe, man.
Yeah,
We're
keep it
average.
going. It's the average grow for a reason.
Anyway, so I pulled one Beanie Baby from the collection. I was given the opportunity to grab a single Beanie Baby out because I was like, I'm just going to put it in my garden. It's going to be my little Beanie Baby. And the Beanie Baby that I pulled out was Stinky the skunk.
Nice.
And I love this guy, man. And he was sitting underneath my, underneath the filter, the exhaust. It comes out and over my tent. And Stinky just kind of hung out underneath there, kind of sitting next to the driver for the light, which sits on top of the tent as well, for a couple of months, just sitting there. And, we're getting into this Tangy Tibuguana grow along, and we're talking about totems, and we're talking about mascots. And I was like, well, yeah, like, I have this Beanie Baby. Like, I think it's pretty cool. I don't really know a whole lot about Beanie Babies, so I'm just going to, like, look this Beanie Baby up on the internet. And so that's what I did. I went and I was like, oh, like, what's, like, Stinky, that's a cool Beanie Baby. And so I, like, started to research it, and I'm like, oh, yeah, this Beanie Baby's from the 90s, and, it was, like, a initial release. And then I started looking into it closer, and I was like, so some Beanie Babies have, like, misprints on them and have, like, a certain value. I started looking at these pictures, and I was like, whoa, let me just pull my Beanie Baby down real quick. Like, I don't, like, what's going on here? So I like pulled the sticker down, and it's in this protective plastic case. And I'm like, wow, dude, like, I guess this particular print, I like pulled up an eBay ad for, I guess, an eBay listing for the same Stinky, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, dude, like, the misprints that they're talking about in this advertisement, like, the one that I've got has these misprints. And there's like 4 or 5, and I'm like, I don't know much about eBay, and I don't know much about the Beanie Baby market or anything about that, but there's Beanie Babies that are listed on eBay that are of this Stinky the skunk from, like, 93 that has these misprints that I've got that are going for like $15,000 right now.
What? Holy shit!
On eBay.
Damn.
If anyone,
and I'm not
spends
joking, dude. I took the
$15,000
screenshots of these.
on a fucking skunk
Preach it, Rev.
Beanie
Dude.
Baby, I think they should have every cent stolen from them and donated to
That's
somebody
like-
else.
That's like the
That
Beanie
is-
Babies that old ladies would beat kids up at McDonald's to steal them from their
Exactly.
Happy Meals.
This is
like,
exactly. This is what and I couldn't believe it, dude. I couldn't believe it. So I started taking these screenshots, and I went to my wife. I was like, dude, your friend, right? Like, she said that she pulled all of the ones out with value. Like, did she research, like, this one? And she's like, what are you talking about? Showing her these, like, these eBay listings, and she brought me down a little bit. She brought me down to level because I was like, what? Like, I want to get this thing appraised like that. Like, you're $15,000, what this eBay ad is saying? Like, what are you talking about? And she reminded me, like, something on eBay doesn't actually have the value until it's sold. So
That's true.
because
Because if
I
that
went
ever
and I-
sells, I'm going to find the person who sold that
Well,
bought a
he's-
$15,000 fucking Beanie Baby, and I'm going to rob them because they're
That's
dumb,
funny.
and it will be easy.
well, so
Tell
in
us
a-
how you really
I
feel,
guess-
Padre.
Fucking, there are starving
here we go.
people
So-
in this fucking country.
Rev, in an act of jest, because here's the thing, guys. I hate to break it to you, but I'm not gonna go researching Beanie Baby markets right now. Like, that's just not my jam. I don't care. Like, if this is what became of the one Beanie Baby that I saved, I don't even want to tell you how fast the tags got eviscerated off of every other Beanie Baby in that collection. Like, guys, you do not want to know what became of the rest of these Beanie Babies.
There's some collector
So I just think
crying
it's
right now.
right, yeah. Like I just think it's kind of funny that the one I decided to save, like even if someone on eBay or not someone, like I looked up like 3 or 4 different listings that talked about these rare misprints that somehow my tag has all 5 of them. I don't know. But in an act of jest, I did seal her into the mason jar, and that's where she's gonna live. She is now protected in the mason jar. I kind of
Air-free.
took a look. Yeah, I took a couple pieces of lint off of her, right, to make her look like she's
Better.
like in
Unfortu-
better
unf-
condition.
Unfortunately, I might have killed the market for anyone buying that because I did just admit that I would immediately rob them.
Dude, I don't know. I still can't believe it really, and I don't really honestly, guys, I don't care. The Beanie Baby is staying above my grow tent into perpetuity. Just now inside of one of my mason jars. So that's just how that
Little
went.
safety. You can tell your kids that's your retirement.
Yeah, right, exactly. Maybe we'll revisit it in a couple of years. And we'll see. How funny would that be that a little mascot had such value?
That would be
So
wild.
I
Dude.
just-
15 grand.
Yeah.
Can you imagine literally I can think of a million things that I would rather spend 15 grand on than a fucking stuffed
Yeah.
skunk.
But collectors, man, collectors
I don't give
go
a fuck.
wild
I don't
over
give
stuff.
a fuck.
They
You're sick-
don't, dude.
You are sick in the head if you pay $15,000 for a fucking skunk.
Shit, I know, right, dude? If if it even was
I don't
like,
give
how
a
could I
shit.
sell that to you? Like, what? Like, what am I gonna?
Morally,
How do I
yeah.
insure that in the mail? I have to deliver that to you by plane. Like, I gotta hire someone, and we gotta put that thing in a briefcase and like
Handcuffed to
secure
you.
it to my wrist. like I'm delivering a plush toy.
Seriously.
Like 15,000. I'm not giving that to USPS. There's no way, dude.
Let me see the money. Let me see
Yeah.
the
They're
money.
like, how would you like to insure this package? It's like a $15,000 package. So could you just UPS ground that? Like,
Could you imagine if you did sell that and you were going to the bank and as you're driving past all these closed businesses that just needed like a couple $100 more to make the next rent payment and you're just like, I sold the Beanie Baby.
right, dude.
Should have bought a
And
Beanie Baby, dumbasses.
I refuse to believe it, man. I think someone's just yanking my chain. I just really
has to
do.
be.
Like, I think it's
Like,
the eBay listings are.
It is. It's like you
Pointing
said, you
out-
can list it for anything, right?
Yeah, and I have no idea how many people are holding on to this plush toy. Like, to what degree that misprint existed on, or if it's a misprint at all. I don't know. I don't know any of it, dude. I just looked at the tag and looked at the internet. Like, that was really the extent of it here.
You're gonna. The problem is you've only ever looked at it when you're really stoned, so it's actually not a misprint at all.
Right, dude. Yeah, man. So I don't know.
sorry.
I ain't gonna list it. It's sitting in the mason jar. So Stinky does get preferential treatment since,
She's worth
he's
$15,000.
fucking priceless, right? Like, there's people listening to this podcast that are gonna hunt my ass down for this thing.
Oh, just throw up the allegedly gift behind it.
Yeah, right. Like, guys, this is all made up. Like, this is all legend.
Entertainment purposes.
I don't even exist right now.
Yeah.
Um,
And I'm not
but you
really
wanna
angry
know-
at someone for willingly spending $15,000 on a skunk. It's
It'd be an awfully judgmental frog of you. Go with frog, you say. Don't be a dick. Mind
I'm
your
sorry.
own business.
I'm sorry. I will say it is their business and I would never stop the sale. But morally, if you're willing to spend $15,000 on a skunk and not something else, you're a horrible human being. I'm willing to judge that person.
Yeah. Who's to say they don't spend millions on charitable shit too, though?
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. And a stuffed skunk is not worth $15,000.
Something is always worth what someone else is willing to pay.
That's true.
Yeah, and these markets, they fluctuate greatly. So I don't know what the market looks like, nor do I care. So I don't mean to insult anybody who's into Beanie Babies out there. It's just like, Stinky's staying with me, guys. He's got a purpose, and it's to protect my garden and to deter people from it with, his nefarious odor.
Well, now I gotta get you a cut of these skunks I'm running.
I know.
Oh yes, dude, absolutely. I can't wait to see you pull the females from that selection. And,
Yeah, I'm getting excited.
Start to see, man, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool, dude. Because you got 10 plants, and you might be dealing with half a dozen ladies that you're gonna have to sift through. So
Yeah,
that'll be
I
fun.
think I've got 2 that are starting to show. I've got some close-up shots that look like they're starting to sex. I mean, obviously it's a little bit early, but because it's so early, I'm gonna assume male, and they look like they're gonna be male. But obviously, I'm waiting a little bit longer.
Yeah, that's a good call.
I think I'm waiting. I'm gonna top dress this week, see how that goes, and probably take some cuts and throw them in the clone machine under 12-12.
Fantastic.
Yep, I just kind of want to get things moving along because I'm super excited about it, and I want to get them into flower because I'd like to pick a mom out to get some clones for outdoor runs this year.
Yeah. Fun stuff. Guys, I know that we've all gone through all of our gardens, and I'm not trying to put anyone on the spot, but I know we all surf the Discords. We all, we see all of our brethren growing, and they've got gardens of their own. I'd like to tell you a couple of the grows that I'm excited about. Maybe ask if you guys have any grows that you're excited about too in the community. I think this is a really fun thing to do. I love going through and surfing through other people's grows, and we've got so many great growers in the community. I'm excited. So we've got Autopirate. We all know who Autopirate is. Autopirate's got a couple of forum stompers. Yeah, he's got a great system going. This guy, he uses recycled Fox Farms Ocean Forest soil that he's had for like 7 or 8 years that he just reamends. And I think that's pretty
awesome.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And he feeds his plants with aquarium water. What?
Yeah.
That's dope. I think that's incredible.
It's one of the benefits of having an aquarium, man. It's awesome. But you know what's really cool about Autopirate specifically is if you go to the Discord and you want to read what he's doing day to day, he puts it all out there. It's a perfect grow guide if you're looking for a beginner stage.
Yes.
Yeah, he's like legitimately journaling in his server page right now.
Yeah, and
on
it's
cultivation
perfect.
Conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is.
So if you want to look at like day to day, or I think as it gets bigger and closer and more into flower, it probably wouldn't be every day, but he gives updates and exactly what he's doing, and it's much appreciated for everyone to read and at least see the system he's using.
Yeah, he's doing training right now.
Yes, he is. It's cool.
These
100%.
super beautiful plants. They really are.
Training 101
Yep.
with Autopirate. Get in there.
And
Yeah,
guys,
and
you can see all of this stuff in the Discords. We've got Discords for all of these communities: the Your Average Grow, the Cultivation Conversation, and
Alabrije,
everyone
grow along.
is sharing. Alabrije, oh my gosh, yes, great communities. And so you can follow along with what people are doing, and you can really get to know these other gardens and these fantastic gardeners. One
So, great thing about the
anything?
Discord. Well, before I just want to tack on the Discord thing. If anyone's listening to this and you've enjoyed it so far, do me a favor this coming week. on Discord, annoy the living shit out of Mack Attack Gardens. Just do whatever you can to annoy him over this Thanksgiving weekend.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Ask him the same question like 30 times.
Check the pins.
Check the pins. Just kidding. But I'm excited for. There's quite a few grows. Krabby is killing it with his. He's grown 2 banners, right? The Star Spangled banner and Queen's banner in the auto pots. And they're going absolutely crazy.
Oh yeah, killing it.
The Star Spangled looks amazing.
It's fucking. They're both so big. I love them. Krabby's killing it, dude. What about you, Mac? You got your eye on anybody? In a creepy way? I meant that in a creepy way, too. You've been watching anybody, motherfucker?
Really, what I'm most excited for is that everybody got these strawberry milk and cookies, and it's going to be like doing it's going to be like another involuntary grow along. Everybody's going to be popping them around the same time because we're
really
all
exciting.
We all have grows going right now, so we couldn't pop them right away.
Yeah.
Truth.
Right. Luckily, I probably won't participate. Like, I'm really excited to grow everything too, but that Marley's going to be alive till at least this time next year. So.
And I have one more person's garden that I'm excited for. Old Johnny boys.
That's right.
I am going to send Johnny something that he's been looking for, so I'm gonna have to get that address after. But I got something for you.
Oh, dude, I appreciate it.
And I would 99.9% bet all of my belongings that you'll run it next.
Ooh.
Oh no.
If it's this impressive, we're gonna have to document it like a mofo for the circle.
For sure. And this is a Mac. This is a surprise. Does Johnny know about this?
No, but I don't mind saying I've got a pack of the joint blueberry that I'm gonna send.
Oh, dude. Wow. Oh man, thank you. That's
bomb
insane.
drop.
Fuck yeah.
Dude. You hear that? That's his tents being rearranged in his mind right fucking now.
Yeah, it is.
He's like, oh fuck, it's gonna be all blueberry. Oh no, I'm so sad.
Dude, that's awesome. I am gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do with the male now, because I gotta cross him with the skunk.
Oh.
Oh my god, a blueberry skunk.
Yeah, dude, that's my
That's the dream.
ultimate
This stuff's
goal.
like 15,000 a pound.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Got that skunk in there.
Oh, damn you, man.
Dude, you should
Damn
name it. You should name it Beanie Baby.
Oh, dude, yes, dude.
Fuck
Dude,
yeah.
that's
Yo,
amazing.
I have to get those seeds, dude.
Dude, that's amazing.
Shit. Green Guy and Joint and Ella Bree, hey, you guys are gonna have to teach me how to fucking breed.
Speaking of that, I am sending I'm sending Cots some two packs of Stony the Night Owl's regs, trying to force Cots into breeding some autoflowers.
I can't wait. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
I haven't been able to pick up any regs either for autoflowers because it's not really a thing you see a whole lot in the community. It's not non-existent, but you don't see it a whole lot. So, and you've got some pretty fun stock there.
Yeah, I got very lucky. Stony the Night Owl's a dope guy. He's super cool, and I got some that I've got my breeding plans for, especially with something that you're sending me, which is
yes. We're all in the giving spirit here, guys. And so we're sending stuff over, and I went ahead and grabbed Rev a 5-pack of Todd McCormick's original Haze, the purple phenotype from Ag Seed Co. And that's on the way right now. It's got a little stork, and it is heading west.
That's right, baby.
Hitting a tailwind, I hope.
It probably has to go to like Yugoslavia or something first.
Yeah, exactly.
Goodness gracious! I hope this one doesn't go to Guam. I hope it
I was
doesn't
gonna
go to
say-
Guam, Rev.
I went to, so I have to update the full story, right? So we all got in on the juicy order, and everybody got their seeds like 2 weeks ago, maybe, or last week.
Yeah, I think 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, no big, no
yeah,
big deal.
a couple
and,
weeks
and
back.
so mine was taking a little bit of some time, and I have that like dashboard thing that you can see what's coming, and I was looking at the packages, and so it went Georgia, and I was like, oh, it should be landing somewhere west of Georgia by now, and I looked, and it said some place I've never heard of with the initials GU. And I went, shit, Guam. And then I'm like, what the fuck's it doing in Guam? And then I'm like, oh shit, there's a postal hub there. Okay, maybe it's coming to California from Guam. No, it went Guam to Hawaii. And it was in between Guam and Hawaii was a week. And then Hawaii to me was a week too or so. And so I finally got it. So it's a very tropic traveled juicy. But what was funny was I went to the post office in the meantime just to figure out what was going on, because I was like, hey man, he was sending me something he picked up for me in Mexico. It's a frog smoking a pipe. It's a little bag, and so I was super bummed that I wouldn't be getting that. So I just wanted to see what was happening, and the lady straight told me like, oh, someone at the post office messed up and put the label on wrong. You'll get it eventually. And I was like, sweet. I mean, what do you do? The package is in Guam. So it finally came. I was stoked that it happened.
Wow.
And I'm just glad it didn't happen to anyone who was waiting to plan it. Like, I still had my tangy, thank God.
Yeah. Dude, that's funny. I've had stuff like go to Canada or go like from like Pittsburgh to California and then back to me.
Oof.
I'm like, why?
I don't even look at the tracking. I'm not even gonna do it. It's gonna get here when it gets here, dude. If it's been over a week, I'll maybe look. But it doesn't usually take that long these days. It just really depends on where you order from, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
And then the time of the year. That's another thing, is like sending seeds and stuff, especially if you're gifting your homies. Guys, get your packs out now. Really, you don't want your stuff going around during the rush. When everything gets clogged up, especially smaller packages. So just be mindful of that,
Yeah,
especially
for
if
sure.
you're gifting the homies.
But yeah, so we've got Johnny doing some breeding now.
Right.
You got to say,
No, the ADD is going crazy.
I know you're already
blueberry
tuned out,
skunk.
but we should have saved that for the end, Mac. He's gonna be useless. But anyhow,
He's processing it.
I know, Johnny. Do you have anyone's garden that you're watching that you're loving?
I actually am watching from a distance. So Sky's first grow popping off. It's kind of fun.
Oh
to watch.
yeah,
Oh,
it
he's
is
fun.
fun.
Yes,
Dude.
good old Sky. Absolutely.
He's a great. We're gonna get him on here eventually too. He's just such a cool dude. Such a positive influence in the community in his first grow.
Absolutely. man.
Yes.
He
So
does
much
it
fun.
all too.
He really does literally every bit of it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Right. And then some.
To infinity and beyond.
But dude,
He's like, bro, they were doing so good. I don't know what happened. I was like, you're doing too much.
Dude.
You're hovering.
As is with
you're,
so many
you're
new
the,
growers.
You
That's-
are the
yeah.
epitome of a new grower. Like the helicopter plant parent. I love it. It's fun to watch when it's
It
not
is.
you. Like,
oh, it's
Dan-
so much better.
Right.
he's doing all this stuff. I'm like, damn, I did the same shit. I did the same
Yes, sir,
shit.
Yes.
I did.
The best part about it all is it's in such a controlled environment. Like, we all have been paying so close attention that we know that it's going to be fine. So you can kind of see him freak out a day, and you're like, dude, just calm down. It's all
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, he's got his shit on lock. He's
Yep. He's
his
gonna,
environment's under control, which is, dude, when he said he's going to
More
switch
than-
to cocoa, he better drop that down to like 4 plants.
I don't.
Or-
I'm
Yeah.
trying.
Right.
I'm trying to get him on the organic train, but I've lost it. He just doesn't. He doesn't like it.
Yeah, I think it's a bugs things for him. But
It's
yeah,
not
it's
an issue.
it's awesome to fucking watch him learn it all, just progress from one thing to another.
He's doing exactly the way you should.
He's
man.
crushing
trying
it compared to
yeah.
my first grow, dude. It took me fucking 8 months to get my first photo period to a flowering state.
Well, in my opinion, you might as well figure out what works and what doesn't in your first grow. So
Hell yeah.
he's
Sure.
doing
Try
he's
it all.
doing it exactly how he should do it.
Yes, sir.
Exactly.
Yeah,
He
agreed.
can speak from experience. And you know what's funny is in his first grow, or let's say his third grow, when he keeps trying new things, he'll have more experience with other things than some guy that's been growing for 10 years but only does it one way.
Yeah.
And I'd rather listen
Yeah,
to the guy that's
absolutely.
tried the thing than just someone's opinion.
I agree.
But that's always fun. That's
Opinions are like assholes, man. Everybody's got them, and they all stink.
exactly. But that's the beauty of the
Well,
world, man. It makes it go around.
I wanted to. I think I had one more that I was thinking about. I'd say definitely a crowd favorite, the 5x9 tent that we all wish we could hang out in, and that goes to our brother Stony Alpine, over in his Stony Alpine chalet, but also hanging out in a bunch of other Discords. This guy's got all kinds of stuff going in there, and I could just talk about it for days. Shout out to Stony as well, because he's been making some rounds in the podcast. So he had a crafting cannabis episode that was just banging
Yeah,
Alright,
it was.
go listen.
the other day. Just
It was an
banging,
admirable listen. I couldn't put it
dude.
down.
Seriously.
I couldn't drive my
Guys,
truck.
you
enough.
gotta
I was like,
listen
Damn it,
to
I gotta
Stony,
pause
dude.
again.
Yeah, for real.
I could listen to
and
that
among-
dude talk all day. We get in voice chat, and I just let him go on and on and on
Seriously.
because he's so well spoken. I tell him that all the time. Like, dude, I could just listen to you. Like, go ahead.
Well, all of them over there are so well spoken. It's a really good podcast to listen to. I mean, Rudy just has so much knowledge. It's fun to listen to Blackwater go through his stories, and same thing with
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure, man. It's always a great listen.
Yeah.
It's fun
Yeah,
to
that was
listen
a
to
great
Early
episode.
Bird fall asleep from smoking too much double grape.
Truth, dude.
That's funny.
Shit.
Yeah, Stoney's he's got a bonsai that I'm really excited to see as he updates, and he's got it sitting there with some other stuff, including some like heirloom coriander, cilantro, and his bonsai. He's just got all kinds of stuff going on with it. He's got stones in there that he's hand collected from rivers in Colorado. The dude's got he's holding up his bonsai with a charred tree branch that got charred from lightning. And
Yeah,
then
dude,
he's got
it's
this thing
awesome.
tied down in every direction. Really cool, insane take on Canna Bonsai. Just a rad place to be, just hanging out in that tent. I'll tell you what, that's just a fun
He
little
was
spot,
doing
dude. So,
one day in Discord. He was doing a live video feed in the voice chat of some training on that bonsai. It was pretty cool to watch.
That's
so
rad.
cool.
Bending, twisting, tying down. It was cool.
Yep.
Yeah, shout out
Yeah,
Stony
I'm
for
taking
sure.
a lot of direction from him. Yeah, shout out Stony. Shout out
know-
all the growers that are just putting up their stuff in Discord, because I love to see it.
You know who's doing? I just remembered too. Is Strong Island Grower. He's in the community, and he's had
Absolutely.
some
Yes.
amazing looking plants.
For sure. Strong
I
Island
mean,
coming through.
If we didn't mention you this time, we'll definitely get you because
Yeah, I mean, we can stroke the
Absolutely.
community all night.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
for
but-
sure. Like, yeah.
We love you all.
It's
Yeah.
definitely
Thanksgiving tomorrow. Yeah. Why don't we? Why don't
Yeah, let's
we
close out.
maybe get a-
Basically, I'm
what are
sick
we
and tired of
thankful for,
talking
guys?
about.
I love them all, but fuck them
Yeah.
all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Fuck you all.
Not
what are we
first.
thankful for? Fuck, I'll go. I am very thankful for all of you motherfuckers. Specifically, me. I'm the greatest. I'm thankful for me. No, I'm just kidding. No, I want to say thank you to my
dog.
Yeah, I'm not that big of an asshole. I want to say thank you to all three of you for doing this podcast with me. It's a pleasure being friends with all of you, so I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for the larger community as well. I'm super thankful for my badass dog who's been laying next to me all night. I'm also thankful for my beautiful partner and for all of my family. So I'm thankful for that. What about you motherfuckers?
Johnny, what's up? What are you thankful for, brother?
Man, I'm first and foremost thankful for my wife and my kids. They put up with some pretty crazy shit from me, so I'd like to thank them first. And second most, like the entire community here. I was struggling with some grows, and I was like ready to fucking give up, but like just the community being what it is kind of pulled my ass out of it and got me excited about growing again. Just having the ability to share with people and bounce to people, because there's not people around here that do it. So it's I'm thankful for that, because it's helping me get the medicine that I need to not fucking be a prick all the goddamn time.
Amen, brother. But before we go to the next one, I just want to say, when you said first and foremost my wife and kids, it made it seem like me thanking my chick last was bad. So fuck you. You didn't have to rank it.
I'm sorry, bro. I didn't
Son of a
mean to do
bitch.
that. I did. Apparently, your girl listens to the podcast, eh?
No, but she's sitting in the next room.
Oh.
She's eavesdropping.
She's giving me the finger and... Oh, she's going to kill me. No, I'm just kidding.
I love you, bro.
I love you too, dude. Cots, what about you? What are you thankful for?
Also, I'm very thankful for my wife, my family, my kids. Obviously, I'm incredibly thankful. I put my family first, and there's
I guess I put him last. I guess.
No, I mean like Rev. I'm not.
First.
I'm gonna drive it in, dude. No, look.
Some
I'm
save the
thankful
best
my
for
family.
last. It's okay.
Yeah.
I
Some
can't sit
people
here.
just eat their food in a different order on the plate.
Right.
I was
can't
really
sit here.
trying not to
I
laugh.
know. I was just like, I fucking hell, dude.
Rev, I love you, bro. I love you, and I'm serious. Like I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the plant, and I'm thankful for this community. I really am, because it's a lifesaver. It's my medicine. I get closer to this plant every day. You know, the garden brings me closer to the plant, and having you guys in the community makes this experience so much more fulfilling. And I'm especially thankful, Rev, for you for bringing me back into this, because I took a break from all of this for many years. And coming back is very refreshing, and I feel safe, and yeah, dude, I love you guys, man. I love you, brothers, and I'm thankful for you guys every day. Seriously.
We're better
Matt.
with you, brother.
Awesome, man. For sure.
Appreciate you guys.
What about you, Mack and
Yeah, I
Cots?
guess that's me. All right, yeah. First of all, I'm thankful that anyone would even think about listening to us.
That's a good one.
Right. We didn't mention that. Yes.
The love and support we receive from all of the community doesn't go unnoticed. And we appreciate each and every one of you guys for showing up and sitting around the table with us like this and just listening to us bullshit. So, yeah, I guess I'm thankful for the community, the friends I've made along the way, my wife, my family. I'll put them last, like Rev. And
That's right. Because
I
he's
ju-
a real friend. He's
Yeah.
the one that I like
I
the
don't-
most.
I don't want to leave you lonely, my friend.
Thank you. Thanks for
But-
looking out.
I have a quote I wanted to end this with from
Fuck
my
yeah.
good friend, the big green guy. And it goes a little something like this. My third eye, brown like a tree, staring straight down, shitting on Johnny.
Yes. Johnny had it too good this episode,
Oh,
man.
that's perfect. That is the way we end it. Thank you so
Good
much
night,
for
folks.
listening.